Alright, here we're going to look at triangles and different types of triangles. So first, triangles have 3 sides and then 3 angles. All angles should add up to 180 degrees. Okay, the first one, you got 3 equal sides, 3 equal angles, always 60 degrees. That's going to be an equilateral triangle. Okay, it always has equal sides and equal angles. Next, it has 2 equal sides, 2 equal angles. So you'll notice they put marks on the triangles. These double lines right here. That just tells us that those are the same measurement. Okay, it also does the same thing on the angles here. They're the same measurement. So this type of this type of triangle is an isosceles triangle. So it has 2 equal sides, 2 equal angles. And then the third one, no equal sides, no equal angles. That is called a scalene triangle. Okay, now we can break these down even a little further. So we also classify triangles by their angles. And if you remember from the previous lessons, there were 3 angles that we looked at. One was a right triangle. So a right triangle has, in fact, that's the obtuse. The obtuse has an obtuse triangle has an obtuse angle in it, only one. So one of the angles is greater than 90 degrees. Okay, there's also a right triangle. That one has a 90-degree angle in it. And then one where there's no degrees that are greater than 90, that is an acute triangle. So think of the 3 types of angles that there are, and there's a triangle that matches each one of those angles. All right, and so this just kind of breaks it down between these 2 descriptions of triangles. So you've got triangles, you've got an acute, obtuse, and a right triangle. Acute can be scalene, isosceles, or equilateral. But it's isosceles triangle can be an equilateral triangle. Okay, the obtuse as well can be scalene or isosceles. And then a right triangle can be scalene or isosceles. So all the triangles can be scalene and isosceles, but only the acute can be equilateral, because that would have all angles of 60 degrees, which are all less than 90. Okay. So knowing that information, we can use that in solving for unknown angles in a triangle. So the sum of all angles in a triangle is going to equal 180 degrees. This side is always going to equal 180 degrees. Okay, so knowing that, we can find the value of x here. Okay, we know that 53 and 61 are 2 of the angles in the triangle. There's 3 angles altogether. So 180 is equal to 53 plus 61 plus x. Well, we can combine the like terms. So 53 plus 61, that would be 180 is equal to, that would be 114 plus x. And so now all we have here is a 1-step equation. We need to isolate the variables, so we're going to subtract 114 from both sides. Oops, 14, not 44. So 180 minus 114, that's going to leave us with 66 is equal to x. Oops. So we just solved for x, because we know all the angles in the triangle are going to equal 180. So that means we're left with a 66-degree angle to make that 180 degrees. Okay, I'm looking at this. What type of triangle is it? All angles are less than 90, so it is acute. And if there are no equal angles, and there's no equal sides, so it would be acute scalene. Okay, the A for acute. The S would be for scalene. All right, same thing on this next one. Okay, we know that all angles have to equal 180 degrees. So that is equal to 32 plus 126 plus x. Once again, we combine the like terms. 32 and 126, that is 158. So now we just have to isolate the variable. And that's going to leave us with x over here, which is equal to 22. So x is equal to 22 degrees. That's the dimension of the missing angle. And then once again, looking at this triangle, what kind of triangle it is. So it has no equal angles, but it does have an obtuse angle in it. Therefore, it's an obtuse triangle. So O for obtuse. And no sides that are the same, so it is scalene. Okay, so we're finding the missing angle of triangles as well as labeling the type of triangle they are. Okay, what does angle A equal on the triangle below? So what type of triangle is it? So we're once again finding the missing angle and, finding the missing angle and labeling the type of triangle. Okay, so now we have these lines. It's isosceles because it has two equal sides, two equal angles. So that means there are two A's. So we're going to set up our equation. 180 is equal to 2A plus 72. Okay, we know it's isosceles. So we're going to go through the steps. We need to get rid of the 72 first. So that means whatever A equals, when you times it by 2, you're going to get 108. Because once again, all angles have to equal 180. So we did the first step in a two-step equation. Last step is we have to divide by 2. So that means that A is half of 108, which would be 54 degrees. Okay, and this was an acute isosceles triangle. Okay, here's a couple practice problems. So let's go ahead. If you look at them, you'll notice they're either acute or obtuse, and all of them are scalene. So number 1, 55 plus 45 plus x is equal 180. So 180 equals 55 plus 45 plus x. That's going to be 100. So that means x equals x equals 80 degrees. Okay, next one, 42 plus 74 is equal to, that's 6, that's 11, so that's going to leave us with x is equal to 64 degrees. Okay, 180 minus 116 equals x. Okay, next one. So 180 minus, so 120 plus 38 is going to be 140 equals x. So that means x is going to equal 40 degrees. And likewise here, 180 minus, so 29 plus 113, that's going to be 142 equals x. So then x is going to equal 38 degrees. Okay, right here, 180 minus 87 equals x. So x is equal to, that'd be 93 degrees. And then 180 minus, that's going to be 120 equals x. So x is going to equal 60 degrees. Okay, so once again, you're adding up the two angles that you know to solve for the one you don't. All right, so continuing on. So same thing, we're finding the missing angle, and then we are labeling it. So here we know that 180 is equal to 51 plus a plus 90. So 180 is equal to a plus 141. So we're going to minus 141 from both sides. That's going to leave us with 39 degrees is equal to a. Okay, and this triangle has a 90-degree angle in it, therefore it is a right angle, or a right triangle. And none of the sides are going to be equal, so it would be a scalene. Okay, last one we're going to cover. So notice there's two equal sides, two equal angles. So this is, and a 90-degree angle, so this is a right isosceles. Okay, knowing this, we know now A equals B. So angle A equals B. So therefore we can write that 180 is equal to 90 plus 2A. Okay, we minus 90 from both sides. That leaves us with 90 is equal to 2A. So then we're trying to find out what 1A equals, so we divide by 2. You're going to be left with 45 is equal to A, which equals B. So now angle A and angle B would both equal 45 degrees. All right, so that's labeling triangles. So remember, there's two different labels for a triangle. It's either acute, right, or obtuse. And then from there, those right, obtuse, or acute triangles can be scalene or scalene or isosceles. And then the acute ones can also be a third type of angle, which is equilateral, where all sides and angles are equal.